Thanks for being here. My name's Jay Van Buren. I'm from Membit, and Membit is a geolocative photo sharing app with a novel patented form of augmented reality that lets people create augmented reality that's very precisely placed anywhere without a marker. We think it's a real game changer, and the first thing that I always do is do a demo, because our demo is always the best thing to get people to really see what it is that we're doing. So I'm going to need a volunteer. So I need someone to come up here with me on the stage. Can I get somebody who wants to be, all right over there? I see, I was like, who is that? Hey, Patrick. Hey. All right, come on up. All right, so this is great. So basically, Membit is a way to take a memory and leave it in a place. And we're going to do that. I'm going to take a photo of Patrick, and it's going to stay right here. And you can see on the screen what's on my phone, so you guys can see what's going on. Okay, so I'm going to press the button. I'm going to take a photo, and we're going to make it so that Patrick will be here forever. There we go. Now come over here and check it out.
Okay.
See. All right, so you can see he's just stuck there in that spot. So we can just save that. And now we have that memory in this place. But we also have the situation where you may have a photograph. In fact, I think probably all of you guys have taken photographs. I see a lot of people taking photographs at this convention. Got any really good ones? Because if you've got some, you could download Membit, and you could go out there and put that photo back where it belongs, and it can actually stay there forever. So just because we can have an example to do this with, I'm going to make a photo of us here. Let's see. All right, there we are. Okay, we'll use that. Now I'm going to come over here, because this is the point of view from which that photograph was taken. I'm going to use Membit, and you come over here too, so that you can see what I'm doing.
Sure.
I'm going to take that photo, and I'm going to take it and move it, and pinch it and spread it, put it into the place where it belongs, right about there. And now we're back. And I'm going to save that. I can add additional information to it if I want to, including hashtags and links. I'm going to save that. Now you have to imagine somebody else is coming back here, and they want to say, like, wait, this is a Membit was demoed for the first time on stage. So they're going to see this. They're going to see this picture, which is telling them where to stand, and that they're telling them where to look. They're going to line this picture up with the world, hit the button, and we're back. All right. Thank you very much. Everybody give me a round of applause for helping me out here with this. And then there's other things you can do as well. For example, if like I just put something over there, it doesn't have to be things that are actually real. You can also do an example of a friend of mine who was visiting over here, Harvey. Hi, Harvey. So that's a quick overview of what we can do, and I want to show you a video that is a little bit of more of an introduction. So I'm going to, let's see, make this play. Here we go. That image is actually there in Times Square now. You can go see it. If you have the Membit app, you can see it right where it is. One of the applications that we want to do with it is Lovelocks. So you can leave something for your sweetheart. We don't have video yet, but we will. That's an example of what we would do with video. That one's one of my favorites. All right, so that's our sort of intro video. And people ask sometimes, what is the problem you're solving? And this slide is my answer. That's the oldest painting in the world, and it's in a cave in France. What the heck is that if not I was here? It's this very deep human desire to mark a place, to have a connection to the place, say, I was here, I had something to do with this place, and to join a community of other people who care about the place that you're in. It's a really deep human need, and it's actually not being satisfied very well by our digital means at the moment. And one of the reasons is that a lot of the AR that we have don't work very well with places. Computer vision is great with objects, with posters. I live in New York City. I wanted to do AR on the street. You can't put a poster everywhere on the street in Manhattan. You can't put a plaque up unless you're Michael Bloomberg, I guess. You know, computer vision isn't going to be able to handle this kind of a scene for a long time. There's shadows, there's light changing, there's cars and people moving back and forth. By the time that computer vision can actually resolve all that, we're in trouble. We're going to hope we're good pets. Another thing is that GPS, I don't have to tell you guys, is not accurate enough for very meaningful communication between people. A lot of the things that you want to say about a place are not about kind of around here, like maybe somewhere on this block, which is about as good as you can get GPS in most cities. So we wanted something that was really, really accurate. SLAM is making amazing strides. I was totally stunned with how well Snapchat is doing with just one camera. The problem is that it's only good for one session unless you're in a place that isn't going to change between one session and another. Like if that picnic table moved, like forget about it, everything's not going to work. A lot of cool stuff is going on with artificial intelligence, but I don't know about you, but like I already knew I was looking at a chair, you know, and there's a lot of stuff that, like, I don't really think the computer right now knows most of the stuff that I want to know about a place. The stuff that I want to know about a place is the stuff that other people can tell me about it. Like, what do they care about? What's important about that place to them? And when you are connected to the place, or when you're connected to the content of something really strongly, you're willing to forgive a lot of stuff in the media. I mean, I see this all the time when I'm demoing the app to people out there in the world. They're not talking about the fact that, you know, maybe the AR isn't perfect and every detail isn't perfect. What they're noticing is the content. They're attaching themselves to the content. There's a suspension of disbelief. This is one of my friends, James Morgan, said this, and it's absolutely true. It's one of the smartest things I ever heard. An example of content that you could get really excited about is, you know, your favorite movie star in a place where a movie happened. And in fact, people do get excited about this, and they do show up at Tiffany's dressed like this. And you'll see this every day if you go to the Tiffany's window. There's people reenacting that scene. They're making pilgrimages. Pilgrimages are something that happen in every single culture in the world, and they happen for a reason, because we are corporeal beings and we want to embody the space where something happened that was important to us. And when you're now with Membit, when you go to a pilgrimage, you have something to see, because you can actually see the thing that happened right there ahead of you, and you can also leave something of yourself behind. So how we're doing this with the human positioning system, what you saw me do in the demo is you saw me lining up a picture. That's something that a human being actually has no trouble doing. You can look at a picture and you can say, oh, okay, well, that's that building, but it's from across the street. Move yourself to that position and then line it up. And that's something that we actually have a patent on, and it's something that we think has tremendous application and could actually dovetail a lot with some of the other technologies that are out there and go together beautifully. We think it's a big deal. We've been getting some attention. A lot of people think it's a big deal too, including Macworld, which said it's the closest thing they'd ever seen to a time machine. And we have some really incredible things that are happening out there, and I want to show you this main thing I wanted to do with this talk is just give you some great examples of some of the things that people are doing with Membit right now. So one of my favorite examples, City College. It's in Manhattan. There's this really cool student named Dalton Whiteside who's a history buff. He did a deep dive into the archives and found some fantastic photographs, including photographs of the time that FDR visited the campus. And I'm going to show you this video. This is actual screen capture video out of the Membit app. You can screen capture anything that you do in Membit, and check it out. That's where he was standing, right there. And then this is another one. This is cool. This is like in the Great Hall. They have, now they're using it for an event, but back in the day it was used for classes. That's from the 50s. I think they're taking a test. They've all got their heads down. Another great use case, we're very proud to have put together the Augmented Reality Hall of Fame, because augmented reality really should have a Hall of Fame. And of course, the Augmented Reality Hall of Fame should be in augmented reality. I'll give you a quick demo of something we can actually make part of the Hall of Fame be in this room if we want to. So I can choose from my photo library, and I can go back and find one of those examples. So let's put Bruce Sterling in here. We'll just put him right over there. And you guys can remember. All right. All right. Yay, Bruce. So there's another example of what we can do, and we actually did this out in the main front hall. You can see all of the Hall of Fame banners for the people that we put into the Hall of Fame, and we've actually had some really great success with this in that, well, actually, here's a video of Tish with her. She was kind enough to let me make a video of her with the
there you go.
With the banner.
Perfect.
Here, you can see her with herself.
You're right there.
And
right
we've gotten some great media about this, and we've actually just yesterday we got the VR AR Association agreed to help us administer this going forward and help us put together a committee. Robert Scoble agreed to be one of the first people on that committee to start naming new people to the Hall of Fame, and Pete Wissell of Augmate agreed to help us administer this too and help keep this going so that it'll become a tradition going forward. Because we want to be able to look up to our heroes. I mean, these are people, we're standing on the shoulders of giants in this industry, and we should really pay attention to those giants. Another great use case is Untapped Cities. We have a partnership with them, and they're a magazine in New York. And this is a video.
Hi, I'm Justin Rivers, contributing editor and tour guide for Untapped Cities. We like to show people the underside of what goes on in their city. And one of the ways that we're doing that is through Membit, which is an iPhone app that helps you to peel back the layers of history. I'm standing here at Herald Square outside of Macy's, where for 92 years, America's most famous parade comes to an end. It was started by European immigrants who worked for Louis Bamberger at Bamberger's department store in Newark, New Jersey. Macy's took the parade in 1924 and started it as a Christmas parade, which concluded with Santa being crowned King of the Kitties on the balcony of Macy's. By 1928, German puppeteer Tony Sarg was hired to replace the animals with tethered helium balloons. But after the first time that they did this, they exploded. So Tony Sarg actually sewed in safety valves that would let the balloons float for days. Throughout the years, other balloons have been introduced that are really what make the parade. But no Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade would be complete without Kit, CJ, and Charlie. They lead Santa down Broadway, and you know when you see these guys coming that Santa can't be far behind. Tom Turkey was created in 1971 and designed to be the lead float in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and he still is today. I have a Membit here of Tom Turkey, and all I need to do is line the picture of what it looks like today, hit the button, and bam, there's Tom Turkey. So here's something that you can do this year. Send us your photos of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and we'll pick the top 10 best. But don't forget to include hashtag MembitMe. You can download the app today. Just search Membit in the App Store.
So we have another, that's a great use case, but we also have examples of things that never were, not history, but fantasy. This is something by Richard Heumann. He's a conceptual artist who used Membit to put totally new constellations up in the sky over the Venice Biennale, and this is part of the Biennale. We had a New York preview of this, and we made a video about this that you can see.
Augmented reality offers a possibility that's unheard of, quite honestly, and the only limitation we have really is the limitation of our imagination.
I see a lot of exciting possibilities in augmented reality as a technology platform through which to present artistic content. And I found Membit to be such a poetic and emotionally engaging platform to bring Richard Heumann's ascension vision to life.
We talk about Membit as being a way to save your memories, but it's also a way to leave behind an image of something that never was, or something that's only imaginary. Anybody can append any kind of imagery, any kind of commentary onto the world. And I think that we're going to see a lot of different artists using this for a lot of different purposes.
With augmented reality, it gives me the opportunity to take over the entire sky And constellations provided a narrative to me, gods and immortals and heroes and villains, and I thought it would be a great opportunity to attempt a narrative piece, which is unlike my other work.
In Venice, he will be going from place to place, placing these images in the sky above, and viewers who come to see the art will really be physically retracing his steps. And I think that it really opens up a lot of possibilities. People are going to see what they can do with Membit. And while I was in Venice, I did a little bit of making some Membits of the process. You can see, there's me with my laptop helping Richard with, and Mina Chung, who's a friend of his. And then this is the actual installation. Okay. This is from San Giorgio. You can see the constellations hovering there over the sky, and that's Mina looking at them through her phone. It was really quite exceptional, an amazing use case. So we have some really great partnerships coming up that I want to just introduce you to. This is a location where a really cool party is going to be next week, actually a week from today. It's going to be the Dutch Culture USA party, which we're going to put Membits in the party, and we're going to be showing everybody how to use Membit and letting them see some examples of Dutch innovation. It's part of a Northside Festival, which is an innovation and music festival. And then for the music part of it, we're going to have the Northside Beer Tree. Anybody's going to be in Williamsburg next week, make sure and try to come find it. We're going to have one tree in Brooklyn that if you find it and look at it through Membit, it's going to have a bunch of beers in it. If you take a picture, if you take a Membit of yourself in front of the beer tree, you get a free beer. This August, we're going to have a partnership with the Hip Hop Film Festival. They're going to be using it to document celebrity events and letting the users go around and make Membits of themselves while they're at the party. And this is going to be our focus. We're going forward. We're really going to focus on events like music festivals and art festivals, which we think are a great place to find early adopters, and also college campuses, because we think that college campuses are a great place for Membits. People are making memories there, and there's also a built-in revenue model with channels for the institutions in these cases. Atlas Obscura is another partner that we have lined up. We're going to be doing some tours with them and possibly going even as far as doing a whole app with them, with their entire catalog. Really exciting partnership. And Dylan Thuris, the founder, has been a really great help to us and an advisor. Feature-wise, what we're headed towards is social. So geosocial, we think, is really crucial. We need to know who people's friends are so we can tell them when their friends have made Membits near them. So that's the very next feature that we're working on. And right after that is the aforementioned channels. We're going to allow brands to have a branded channel. They can be geofenced. When you have a channel, the brand actually takes over the app, and you're in the channel, you're seeing everything that's only either content they produced or content that they approved. And so that's a way for a brand to be able to share their experience of the world with you and let you see the world through their eyes. I have one last video to show you, and this is really special. No one else has seen this except a very select number of people, so this is not a released video yet. This kind of has some of the more philosophical underpinnings of the concept.
You walk around the city of New York and you see people staring at their phones. Everything they're doing is taking them away from the place that they're in. They're totally oblivious to the people and the places around them. I mean, I'm one of those people too, most of the time. There's a Walt Whitman poem called Crossing Brooklyn Ferry, where he talks about looking out over the railing at his own reflection, and he imagines all the people who have crossed that river in the past and all the people who will cross it in the future. And he talks about the connection between all those people who've seen what he's seen. That's something that can really enrich your life. It's you in that moment, but it's also you in that moment connected to all the people who have been in that place and all the people who will be in that place. Membit is not about taking you away from the place where you are. Membit is about allowing you to have a more rich experience of the place you are in right now and to share a connection with all the people who've been in that place and all the people who will be in that place. Membit is about turning locations into places. It's a way to share a connection across time. It's a memory that you, the human, have left there for other humans, made by humans for humans.
So what we are doing here is we are trying to knit together the fabric of human experience across the entire world and create a tool that everyone can use to tell their story about a place. We want to let everyone say whatever they need to say about that place and share their history, and also make a connection between past and present, between the future and the past. Because when you see one of those photographs of, I mean, this has happened to me a million times when I've seen some of these historic photographs, you see somebody standing in the very street you're standing in, and you look at them and you realize, you know, that guy had something for breakfast that day. You know, that guy, you know, maybe loved someone who didn't love him, or, you know, who knows, like all those things that are part of the human experience. Every single one of those people, they were people. And then you think about, you make a picture of yourself, even a trivial picture that you might have of yourself out here in the hallway. If someone comes back and sees that 10 years from now, they're going to see a connection to another human being, and they're going to see how we're all the same across time. And so what I'm asking you to do is download Membit right now, and if you've got a photograph of something that you did in this conference that you're looking and thinking about before you leave, while you're here, go make a Membit of it. That photo will be there in that place forever. And you can come back to the next convention and you can be like, oh yeah, remember when? And it'll be right there. So thank you, and I'll take any questions. Oh, great, we got questions. All right, fantastic.
Okay, Queen,
Oh, do we have time for questions?
I think we have a little bit of time, just
Okay.
for respect to everyone who's had a long day and long 3 days, and AV team, and
Sure.
Sure.
Okay, well, you decide how many questions we can have.
let's go.
So let's say you have like multiple locations with popcorn, 1,000 people put pictures on it. How do you resolve that? How do you resolve which is
So right now, you can actually do a filter by hashtag in the app, and you can also filter by user. But what we want to add as soon as we get friending in there is we're going to make it social so that you can filter by things that were made by your friends or things that your friends liked or your friends commented on. Do we have time for one more?
My question was similar about volume. When you get 10 years from now and there's a pilgrimage site and then there's 1,000 people took the picture at the same place, are you going to just swipe through everybody's?
I mean, one of the things I want to do is make it so you can actually filter by time. So you have a time filter. You can say, you know, I'd like to see from last week till 3 weeks ago, or you can say I only want to see things that are you know 100 years old or more, and let you filter by that. But I also think we're going to have things that are like upvoted or liked, and basically do something where the ones that have been getting less attention fade further and back or become translucent, and the ones that are more popular become more opaque. Something like that, where we'll basically make it so that you can get to the most interesting content. One more?
have you built a positioning system and do you envision applying it to other applications?
I think this has actually tremendous other applications. There's a construction company that's going to partner with us to build an application for this in the construction field, because same reasons. And we are interested in licensing this to other people. We actually are thinking about bringing in some SLAM into the app as well, so that we can have a combination of the two. We think that combination is going to be especially powerful, and we're interested in partnering with anybody. Oh, and I should mention, we are raising money, so if anyone's interested in that, talk to me. But any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.